Hello, my name is Adrian Sheppy, and this is my video entry for YouTube Space Lab. Here we have a blown-up picture of the thylakoid, where light comes into the photosystem, takes in water, and releases oxygen from the water. Hydrogen is pumped across the thylakoid membrane, in which it creates a concentration gradient, and it pushes across the ATP synthase, spinning it and creating ATP, which is then sent to the dark reactions. Here's a picture of what both reactions look like and their relationships. Water goes in and oxygen comes out, so water and oxygen are on a fixed ratio. ATP is created from the light reactions and sent to the dark reactions. CO2 is converted into sugar, so CO2 and sugar are fixed.
My hypothesis is as follows. If plants are in microgravity, then they would need more water to produce the same amount of sugar as they would on Earth.
Now, while under the influence of gravity, all the hydrogen plus ions are pulled to one side of the thylakoid, aiding the concentration gradient as it flows through the ATP synthase. But in microgravity, there is no aiding of the concentration gradient because there's no gravity. So the H plus ions trickle out much slower than under the force of gravity. The consequences of this would be less ATP produced, slowed Calvin cycles, slowed sugar production, and you would need more water to compensate because the H plus ions come from the water, and you need more H plus ions to match the same amount as in when you were under the influence of gravity. To test my hypothesis, you really need to do it twice, once on Earth and once in microgravity. You grow any fast-growing plant like radishes or switchgrass linens, and then you hydroponically grow them in a container, hydroponically, so you can monitor the water intake very carefully. You grow them for a set amount of time, and then when you stop the experiment, you use something like a refractometer to detect how much sugar they both produced individually. Now, if my hypothesis is correct, the microgravity plant would have required much more water to produce the exact same amount of sugar as the on-Earth plant.